Hey everybody, what's up? It's Umi Genevieve, Laced in Space Constellations on LSD. Thanks for tuning in. If you've been anywhere else and you decided to be here with me, so always want to give gratitude, always want to give appreciation. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for all the support, the confirmations. I'm so appreciative of each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, this weekend's Father's Day, so I want to do a Father's Day video, right? So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, the sons, the daughters. Happy Father's Day to the real dads out there who are putting the work in. Happy Father's Day to those who have lost their dad. Happy Father's Day to those who are trying to be a better dad. Happy Father's Day to each and every one of you. You are so necessary. Do not let this Chiron and Aries transit make you feel like you are less just because you're seeing a lot of your idols and your mentors and your own fathers and your own understanding with fatherhood. Get you a little off track right now. Just continue to do what you need to do. Happy Father's Day to each and every one of you. So today I wanted to talk about just understanding the dynamics of fatherhood in the chart. And we're going to do a simple one. We're just going to talk about the sun. So sun energy. Sun dictates relationships with dad. And I'm going to also, I also want to center how you are a father based on what tools you had through your own father, the relationship you have with him. And for women with your sun energy, this will be the type of men that you can procreate with. This is how you identify with one part of masculine and a major part of masculine energy in your world. So you look at your sun in that way. What you have a probability of having some sort of compatibility with to procreate. Since the 5th house, which is connected with the sun, is a creative house. So with the sun, right? Sun is important because without the sun, we can't see the moon without the sun. The moon doesn't exist without the sun. They're one of one, right? So fathers, you dictate a lot of what the conception, the relationship with the child, how you identify with the pregnancy, how you identify with the mother, a lot. Sperm is very important in the conception process. Male sperm dictates a lot, right? So men, it's very important that if you do not want to be with this woman, and I share this just so you don't have this type of karma and this weight on you. If you do not love this woman, if you do not feel like this woman is for you, if you just don't feel like you want to have children with this woman, it's best that you don't sleep with this woman unprotected or open a place with them where they can where they feel like, you know what, I want to have your child. Because you're going to put on a lot of unnecessary karma. And then if you're upset with when certain children don't mesh with you, don't connect with you, or you have baby mama drama, it's because you're not taking the full respect, that strong responsibility of knowing that you dictate a lot of what is going to happen with this pregnancy, this child. And how they build a lot of identity in the world. That's why there's always this theme around, is the daddy in the house? Does this person have daddy issues? Because dad, you are very important. But the first step is asking yourself, do you identify with this woman enough to procreate with her? And this is where we have to have strong conversations about what monogamy is and if men are supposed to spread their seeds or not. Because you have to be aware that you can have, if you're irresponsible and not conscious of who you procreate with, children that hate your guts. Or don't know how to identify with you. That's why there's just a lot of themes with dads and their children. All right. So, sun is most compatible in fire and air signs. Degrees included, because let's say you do have a fire and air sun sign, but you have water and earth degrees, this could change the relationship with father. But most compatible, and usually The most identified is fire and air, degrees included. These placements are usually can be daddy's boys, daddy's girls. They identify with their father. And you may even feel like moms, these are the kids that need to get sent to their dad's house if you guys are co-parenting, that you will need a stepfather or a surrogate father to come into the household and really be able to have the reins of like leadership for this child. Because they're gonna need it. So if you can't find that, you're gonna put fire and air children, especially boys, in sports that have coaches. Get them connected with their uncles, their grandfather, things like that. Now, most incompatible usually can have iffy relationships with their father from the gate. And this could even start with just the mother and how she identified with the father and how she has a lot of influence on the child. These would be water and earth sun sign children, degrees included. There's usually more of a connection to the feminine, their mothers, especially the boys. Water sun sign men can feel like they're more likely to be mama's boys. Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. They can feel a certain rejection from their father, emotional, not a great emotional rapport, not really understanding the child's feelings. And this was because the mother felt like, Dad, you did not understand her feelings and what she emotionally needed during the conception. So she procreated a child that now has water energy, one of the most uncomfortable placements for the sun. Now, earth, sun is, water is the most uncomfortable. And then on top of that would be earth. Earth, it can be one of the most incompatible placements with father when the child has a sun sign energy, because it can be more material, physical, and what I can afford the child, especially Taurus children. And still connecting to that water energy where the child doesn't feel that emotional rapport with their father, that emotional that emotional connection, availability with their father, because things could be more material. Now again, let's say water and earth has fire or air degrees, things can change. But there's still an identity on the sun. And based on the sign that it's in, that sets a lot of the tone between you and dad. Because this now opens up space to how you now relate to other men in your life. And you can find water and earth sign energies can be more susceptible, especially water sun sign, with daddy issues, which now makes, especially for water sign young men, a sensitivity to the world and being in masculine spaces that can make them come off antisocial, emotional, inferior. But this also makes them ladies' men. So it's important for dads to understand, like, if they have like a water sun sign or earth sun sign child, if this child's not calling you, not connecting with you, you feel like there's just a lack. It's because the way you identified with the conception, you made mom have to find all her emotional, all the emotional baggage was just put on her. The child now identifies that. If the child's earth, there'll be something where you place something on mother and you identify the relationship in a way where all the physical, the material was all based on her. And why she's had to feel the need to carry all the practical things in life. Now remember, things can change. The reason why I keep looking at earth is because earth sun sign children can be daddy's girls or daddy's boys, right? It's like Capricorn. Capricorn, they can be like the first son, the only son, a dominant energy in the house, where dad even respects the child and looks up to the child. And Capricorn can also be connected to their grandfathers, grandparents, and this can bring a likability from older mentors. Taurus energy can have that material love with father, especially the girls, where their dad really spoils them and lets them know that I will be able to afford everything you need. But that can also come with all fixed children, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, in their relationship with their father. Virgo energy, the reason why closeness can come with this, with father, because you could become like a service child, an errant child for dad, where you like help him with his routines, his lifestyles, things like that, and you guys bring a closeness. So earth is one of those things that can be a little tricky with dad, because it can bring a strong likability and a strong connection, but it's still a placement that has a most likeliness to have an incompatibility and more of a connection with mother. Water, definitely. Fire, most dominant. Fire children, Leo, Aries, can really have such a strong connection with their dad. These children may even want to live with their dad and can be most likely to go live with their dad. Air included as well. Gemini and Libra can have a strong connection. Aquarius, a strong connection with their dad. Now, the reason why I didn't say Sagittarius before and why I had that thing with Aquarius is because they're more detached sun signs. They're more later in the chart. So there is a detachment with father in some capacity with Sagittarius, where father can live long distance, live in areas where, you know, they have to, like, you guys have to build like a consistency, a pattern, a routine with each other. There also could be a communication theme going on where dad can like he needs to learn how to understand your interests, your psyche, just your overall emotional conditionings, and he may struggle with that because he's away. And he could be really relationship focused, like it's the relationship that he's in, and he can be consumed in that, and because he's not in this relationship with your mother. Remember, out of sight, out of mind. So that's why this could be a detached relationship with dad, but mostly fire and air sun sign children have a closeness with their dad. The Cardinals, Libra, and Aries can even have a father that looks up to them, like, I want you to be a better me. And with Libra, which is a placement where they have like a double like win, they can have a strong relationship with their father, but if not, they have a relationship with a stepfather. So Libra is very likely to have stepfathers and be a stepfather themselves. Now, just with that, you can understand if you will have a strong rapport with your children. Now, are you like, oh, now Umi, just because it's a water sun sign or earth sun sign, it will never work out with dad? Look at it like this: the odds are against you. So what are you going to do about that? How are you going to learn to live with that so it doesn't eat you alive? It doesn't make you feel like there's certain things that block you. Because, you know, we're in a season in life where, like, how our parents raise us, you know, just going through, like, even, like, where we want to blame our parents, where we can't blame our parents. So if we already know this, we're opening up a space where we can have more of an understanding of how we can go closer to our kids. And it's just very important, Dad, because you identify the relationship strongly. Like I said before, can't just be giving women like children here and there, throwing it here and there, because you can put yourself in a position, especially having boys out there who can breed on not liking you, hating you, and it's just a lot of karma. And even with your daughters, like them having to pick wrong men and struggle with relationships and just struggle with femininity and masculine, like balancing that out. But most importantly, like picking wrong men because they didn't have a great representation or a lack of connection. And you'll find that with a lot of water sign daughters: Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Not seeing men clearly. Having to hold a lot of emotional labor for men, just like their dad. Now, I also want to talk about women who have fire energy in their chart. So women who have heavy Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, especially on the moon, and air sun signs too, air energy too. So Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. It is an imperative that if you have air and fire, that you find a partner that you have this equal with. that you pick men, and because you usually have it where you can pick great dads, because you usually can have a great relationship with dad. The reason why it's important, because since you have masculine placements as a mother, you can feel like motherhood is overwhelming. And fire, air women, a lot of them can even opt out or do it later in life with having children. Because they need to find this autonomy since they're connected with masculine energy. This masculine energy is selfish. They operate best when they are more self-focused. So it's just important that if you do have air, fire in your chart as a woman, that you don't discredit your motherhood because you are easily overstimulated and you need dad to do his part. Now, I'm not saying water and earth women don't need the same kind of help, but they can take on the emotional labor. It's just how it is. It's not saying one is better than the other, but that's why water and earth women can not always pick the best men. But fire and air energy may have more of that. At least men where women are the collective are like, okay, you at least picked a man who wanted his children, or who wants to connect with his children in that way. And again, this is generalized. Always be conscious of, the element it's in and the degrees. Your story could be very different. But I'm giving you something generalized so you can even start your own research. Now, another thing to look at is modalities, right? So we have cardinal, we have mutable, we have fixed. So making sure I did close, right? Cardinal, you usually are a first-time energy for dad. You're usually a culture clash, a first generation. Dad most likely looks up to you, so you're gonna feel like you need to guide dad a lot. You need to let him know. You need to do things that he also, he might even look up to you. Where he's like, son, daughter, you're gonna be the first to do this. You're gonna raise the family, and this way you're even my first in some capacity, or my only. You can feel like you need to finish what he left off, or what your forefathers left off. This can make you a very strong in leadership, very independent soul, and things where you might have to be in a position to oversee your parents. Now remember the element, if it's the water and earth of cardinal, Cancer and Capricorn, difficult relationships with father, and may feel like, when do you find the emotional responsibility, the material responsibility to be there in my life? Mutable energy, Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius. Mutable energy, father can live long distance. There could be a conversation with you living in two different households. There is going to be a theme with communicating with dad, finding consistency with dad. Let that be something that is well received or not as well received. Some of you can have, mutable sun signs can have even a theme where they don't know their dad. They've never met their dad. So just know that if you are dating a mutable, or if you have mutable energy as a father, you are sometimes feeling like you're winging it as a dad. You're becoming something that you probably never seen before. You're trying to build a consistency that you probably don't even know about. So it's going to be very important for mutable dads and women who are dating, who have children with mutable men, that you just give them a little bit more of grace. Because a lot of them, if you were to ask, they barely spoke to their dad. And I'm not saying that's all of it, because Gemini and Sagittarius can have a very close dynamic. But there is something where you have a high probability to not live underneath the same roof. Or there just could be a theme where maybe dad needed to still figure out how he would communicate with you, how he would share information with you, how he let you have your own voice, where he didn't feel like he needed to dictate a lot of his opinions onto you, and where that could bring that inconsistency. But very likely mutable. You're winging it because you're seeing something that you're trying to be something that you never saw your father do. Fixed energy children, you're gonna have to, like, it's really important. And if men have fixed energy too, so fixed men are possessive. Fixed men don't want other men taking care of their children. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. So it's gonna be very important if you're a man with fixed energy that you really get your finances together and you really are positive that this is the woman that you want to procreate with. Cardinal men will just fully take responsibility, even if they have to hide you. Mutable men will, they can have a deep criticism, but they are not very discerning sometimes in the women they procreate with, so they'll just roll with the punches. But fix will fight you till the end. Fix will antagonize your life till the end. Fix is possessive. Just procreating with a fix, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. There was a lot of things that you endured psychologically. Fix can forever be in love with you because the relationship was so transformative. So if you procreate with fix, God bless you. If you're a man out there, if you're a dad out there, and you procreated with a fixed woman, or she has a fixed child with you, God bless you. And God bless all the people that's dating these people that's in these type of custody situations, sharing situations. That's why if you have fixed energy, you gotta really be prepared to take care of your child financially, wholeheartedly, resourcefully. Because best believe, since this is a resource energy, there's money talks, resource talks about this child, having to afford them. There's also commitment talks. So it's very likely that step parents can come into or be close by fixed energy. Especially Scorpio and Aquarius. And they don't like that. This is some of the most toughest placements to have as a person, because you have to learn to unpack where you are fixated, super comfortable, and you refuse to change, even though the relationship is changing. So yeah, guys, that's all I got for now. Shout out to the dads. Happy Father's Day to each and every one of you. Hope this video gives you perspective. You're still awesome. You're still doing your best. That's all that matters. These kids are going to learn, you know. Just going to have to learn. And you got to do what's best for you. And you just got to be okay. You just got to be aware of what you... Okay is a stretch. But you got to be aware of what you procreated in. And men, you have to be aware of really being sure that this is the woman that you want to procreate. I want to put a lot of emphasis on that because you identify a lot of the pregnancy. Without sun, moon cannot exist. And for the women who are like, why does this guy not want to take care of his kid? Why is this guy not like doing what he needs to do? Why is this not an equal situation? See where the child, where their placements are, what's aspecting them, what kind of parent are you? What kind of parent is the dad or the mom? All right, and understand definitely with water that's going to happen. Earth, a likeliness to happen. Fixed. Let it be if there's any fixed energy in the household, a likeliness to happen. So if you see this is already happening in the household, see where it's almost faded and you're just going to have to everyone's just going to have to be aware of this. and really dive deep in how are we supposed to make something that has the odds against you for it to not work so it works? Or do you just accept your fate? Just, roll with the punches, keep fighting, whatever the case may be. Because it is what it is, right? But yeah. Always love, always gratitude. You guys are awesome. I wanted to try something different. I hope you're feeling the vibes. And I'll see y'all next time. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Mwah. Shout outs to the daddy. Happy Father's Day, Daddy. Happy Father's Day, Junior. Happy Father's Day, everyone.